Hi, Joe Cerrone.
Hey, Al Rosa.
Welcome to CAD 117, Intermediate AutoCAD, in our first Zoom classroom meeting for Intermediate AutoCAD. Alrighty, so here we are in D2L, which stands for Desire to Learn, and this is the website, d2l.oakton.edu, and we have our main splash page here welcoming you to the course. And last week we sent out an orientation video that talked a little bit about policy and procedures for the course. We'll hold a weekly Zoom classroom meeting every Tuesday at 10:45, and we'll use the same Zoom link right here. Attendance is not required, but it's a good opportunity to get questions answered. We'll cover about one module per week. We'll talk a little bit about that. You can download and get the software from the students.autodesk website. I think most students are familiar with that since this is the intermediate course. But if you haven't, if maybe you jumped in, you can go here and it takes you to the Autodesk website, and you can go to Get Products, and then you can get the products here. Now, Now what you will need to do is you will need to create a login with a student account. But like I say, most students are familiar with that. We're teaching the course using AutoCAD for Windows, and we'll be on 2023. But the older versions are fine, and if you're a Mac person, you can also use the Mac. But it does look a little bit different, just like Mac iPhone would look different from an Android phone. The textbook that we'll be using is this book right here, Technical Drawing 101 for AutoCAD 2023. You can use an older version of the book. It doesn't really have many different changes in it. This is a great book. It basically kind of covers both mechanical and architectural projects, just like we've been doing with the basic AutoCAD course. And there's quite a bit of information as far as theory and topics and vocational aspects to the projects. What I like about this course using this textbook is that it maps to standards for technical drawing. So what text heights you make things at, how you lay out the views and things like that. Alright, back to the main splash page. So you'll need that book, and we'll follow that book chapter by chapter. If you want to get a hold of us, the best way is to use the D2L email. And so we also have regular Oakton emails, like the one that say oakton.edu. But when we get an email in the course, it's better because you can use this email link right here, and then we can use the learning management software to do things like share files and things like that. So email us if you have questions or you need additional explanations for how things are going. I do have a telephone, and you can call me on that, and you can get a hold of me that way as well. But it's easier to get me online than it is on the phone. Here's the installation instructions for those of you who are upgrading or installing the newer version of AutoCAD. And then office hours and student assistance. Essentially, Tuesdays and Thursdays we're virtual. And we have more students attending virtually than we do in person. But we realize that in person is a very helpful aspect. And so we're in person on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Sundays. And we'll add that information here. But if you want to come in for additional support, we've put these into the announcements. And we've color-coded the course. Blue is readings, green is lab CAD assignments, and purple is videos. And quizzes are in red. Alrighty. Outline of topics. We'll post announcements here in the calendar. Take a look at the upcoming events for when things are due. Module 1 is due Sunday the 24th at 11:59. In the first module, we want you to do the pre-test. And so as we take a look at what we'll be working on, the pre-test, and with these online courses, what's happened in the past is that some students didn't know that the course had started. And so policy at the college is to require an assignment the first week. And so the pre-test is due on Sunday at 11:59. And it's not a difficult test, but it's something that you need to turn in to stay in the course. And then the other announcements you'll see here as you look at the calendar. The course is organized with content, discussion, assignments, quizzes, and some of these other tools, as you can see here. We're going to start off in the content area. And so if we go to content, going from top to bottom, we have our overview page, which basically just recaps what's on our main splash page. Information about how to contact your instructor, textbook information, course information, office hours. If you want to come in and find me, I'm around quite a bit. I do a number of other things with the college, but typically you can find me there Monday, Wednesday, Sunday. Alrighty. Syllabus. So here's our course syllabus. CAD 117. 116 or basic AutoCAD is recommended but not required. We have a number of students that will come in with CAD skills that kind of want to jump into something a little bit more advanced than a basic AutoCAD course, and that's what the intermediate course is for. It's the second course in AutoCAD, and we cover some of the nuts and bolts things like attributes and blocks, external references, filtering, three-dimensional objects, and being able to work with surface modeling. As we go through, we want to develop your ability to analyze and solve problems utilizing computer-assisted design and drafting. And it's kind of a virtual environment nowadays where we can demonstrate these topics online or in person, and that's what we're doing. Academic integrity, please follow the basic outline. It's not a bad idea to get familiar with the codes of conduct, but essentially there's no reason to have any problems like this. If you do need some additional assistance, email Al and I, ask for an extension or something, and we can certainly keep you out of trouble. We'll look at the outline of topics momentarily. Methods of instruction will be readings from the textbook, video tutorials, and focusing of solutions of hands-on drawing problems. And so essentially we'll be following the textbook chapter by chapter and then outlining those with video tutorials. And so we can demonstrate how to create the drawings with videos, and we will do that. Course practice is required. Like we were talking about, we need to complete an assignment within the first week to be counted as attendance, or you may be dropped. And then our participation will be completion of labs, quizzes, and assignments. Here's our instructional materials. We use some of the aspects of the CAD 2023 book. And this is just a great book with all kinds of content as far as the nuts and bolts of how to work with AutoCAD. And the technical drawing book is just really great in the fact that it's vocational in its preparation of the drawings. And so you have these mechanical drawings here, which will go through orthographic projection, top, front, right side view, and then we have the architectural drawings, which will go through things like floor plans and elevations. Method of grading: straight 90, 80, 70, 60. Turn in things on time, or you may have a late deduction for your course. We don't turn off the drop boxes, so you can turn things in late. It does happen, and you know, it's not a bad thing to turn in things late, but we just want to set the timeline so that people know when things are due. And like we said, you can request an extension, but on the other hand, you know, if somebody's turning in their work on time, we want to be fair, and so we have that policy. Other course information, okay, there's plenty of support for students at the college. There's more to it than just an education. They have counseling, and they have a special needs support, as well as other aspects. So that information is included in the syllabus along with emergency building closure information. Alrighty, back to the main content area. Sequence of topics. Every week we'll be meeting on Tuesdays at 10:45, and we'll follow the textbook. And so today's the 19th. We're looking at Chapter 1, Module 1. And Al has color-coded these. Again, things in blue are reading assignments, things in green are hands-on drawings, and then red will be tests and things like that. So as we go through, we'll cover a number of different areas, and so we'll look at traditional drafting, computer-aided basics, mechanical drawings, architectural drawings, section drawings. We'll have a midterm at the end of October, and we'll go into some three-dimensional aspects, and then we'll have a hands-on project for a mechanical or an architectural. One of these should be architectural. We'll update that. We'll review for the final, and then 12/12, all work is due. Alrighty. So check the sequence of topics for what we're covering and when we're covering it. But essentially we go through a chapter each week. VPN, if you want to use an Oakton computer, and we have some people that are very good with this, you can download the VPN software and access an Oakton computer, and the instructions are there. It's a good way to be able to use an Oakton computer if your computer isn't got the software completely installed. AutoCAD software, the best way is to run the AutoCAD software on a laptop, and so you can download that from the student website, and so that would be my preferred method rather than VPN, because you're kind of tied into the speed of the internet connection. But it's amazing the way the technology works these days, and you can work virtually, you can access the software, and you can accomplish your learning objectives in a number of different ways. We'll be using title blocks for the course. We have a general design title block, and then we have our mechanical and our architectural title block. And then Al and I have set those up for you so that specific assignments will use specific title blocks. Here's our pretest. As we look at our pretest and we take a look at this, we're basically looking at what your experience is with AutoCAD, why you're taking the class, and what you would like to learn. And like we said, that's due on Sunday. And so what you'll do is you will download this document and then open it up in Word and turn it into the assignments folder. Alrighty. So make sure that you take the pretest and you turn that around by Sunday in order to stay in the course. Module 1 is available, and it should be no problem. We'll look at the chapter on technical drawings, some of the terminology, mechanical and architectural drawing, and then we have 2 basic drawing assignments and a bonus. And so students will draw either the mechanical drawing or well, these are both the mechanical. I didn't open the architectural one yet, but you're welcome to do that as well. And as we draw these assignments, we draw the 2-dimensional geometry, add the mechanical dimensions for that. The 3D component is optional at this point, but some students may have some of those abilities developed from our basic AutoCAD. But the 3D model isn't required on these. We like to put it on there for visualization. First exercise, V-block, oval plate, and then as we look at the way that the course is organized, we have a lecture, and so here's the PowerPoint and the learning objectives within that PowerPoint. And so it's more vocational than the first course is, because in this course we want people to understand what's important on drawings and what you need to put on them from a standard standpoint. Put in a little bit about some of the equipment that I used to design. I was working in Forest Products, and this is one of the machines that I used to develop and make over at ITW Signode. They're out there in Morton Grove and Glenview. And then other information about what a drawing should look like for something like an architectural drawing. So here's a hand sketch, and then here's how we want it to look on CAD. And you'll notice that the architectural drawings are a little softer. They use different fonts, splines, a little bit more artistic. And so Al is terrific at doing things like developing that. And then the mechanical, we have a lot of different things. We work with 3D printing, these different mechanical aspects of projects. We do a lot of industrial design with laser cutters and 3D printers, and so if you are interested in prototyping and things like that, we're happy to work with you on that. This course is the second course in the computer-aided design certificate, and so if you take these 3 courses you can get the certificate, and it's great to collect certificates. So as you build up your portfolio of skills, this course can fit within that. And then as we were talking about careers and things like that, what are the companies looking for? And so these are a couple of the companies that are in our district. You'll find that they are looking for people who have the right skills. They can read blueprints, they can follow directions, they understand certain aspects of working with these technical drawings. And that's what we're doing. We want people to know what to put on the drawing, how to set that up, how to put datums on it, how to make a blueprint that is according to standards. Same with the mechanical prints. And so we go through and we talk about different types of careers in the first chapter, whether you're pursuing electronics, civil, and that's what's nice about the book. And then in the book it asks a few information about like salaries and things like that. These are actually quite low. Salaries are really quite good for people going into the field because they just can't find qualified candidates these days. And so the idea is to build up your skills to get everybody confident, work on these 2 drawing labs, and then next week we'll go through Unit 2. And Unit 2 is also available, but we'll start working with these ASME standards, American Society of Manufacturing Engineers, and they basically go through how to create these drawings. All right, back to Module 1. So the assignment for Module 1 is to create 2 of these drawings, Lab 1A and B, and the bonus is bonus. You don't have to do that. Here's the PowerPoint information, and here's the lecture with a video lecture of the course. And so we videotape them and we'll go through just like I'm doing today. And then next week we'll look at Module 2. Module 2 basically shows you how to create these different orthographic drawings, and we start to go through and model it. And we'll cover that next week, but we like to leave the course open so that as you progress through the course you can work ahead if you'd like to. Alrighty, so with that, that's our basic for our first week. What we want you to do is to fill out the pre-test student introduction due on Sunday, and then start working on Module 1. Read Chapter 1 from the Technical Drawing 101 textbook, complete the pretest, complete Lab 1A and 1B, turn them into the assignments folder, and we'll grade that and turn that around. Alrighty, Al, is there anything else that we want to talk about?
I don't think so. Go back to the splash page. Just go down a little bit. Let's take a look. We went over all this already, correct?
Yes, we did. We'll be using the same Zoom link, and we'll post the recording. Talked about the software, textbook, how to get a hold of us. I think we're good. I think we covered it. All right, then. I'm going to stop the recording, and then we'll open things up for people in attendance that want to ask questions. This ends this Zoom classroom recording.